Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
Jack shivered in the cool twilight of the alien world, his breath visible in the air as he adjusted his goggles. The lush landscape around him was a riot of bioluminescent colors. Vivid purples, bright blues, and glowing greens danced in the underbrush. It was a sight to behold, one that felt almost surreal against the backdrop of Earth's bleakness. Humanity had sent an expedition to seek resources, to find hope in a universe that felt all too vast and daunting. Yet, as the sky faded from orange to deep indigo, Jack felt a familiar knot of unease tightening in his stomach. He was far from his home, light years away from the dull, gray cities of Earth, and the gravity of his situation pressed down on him. It wasn't just the beauty of this new world that unnerved him. It was the sickening reality of their dire resources. Earth was suffering from rampant diseases and shortages, and they had traveled here in the hope of discovering something miraculous. "I wish I could find a way to fix everything," he muttered to himself, his eyes scanning the dense forest that surrounded their camp, searching for any sign of movement. Unbeknownst to him, someone was watching. Lily moved silently among the bioluminescent plants, an embodiment of grace and purpose. Her skin shimmered like the night sky, a harmonious blend of hues that seemed to change with her emotions. As an alien doctor from the Elorian race, she had dedicated her life to healing, to understanding the intricacies of biology, the ways that life thrived, nurtured, and sometimes decayed. When she first saw Jack, struggling against the odds of fate, she sensed a profound connection. His fierce determination mirrored that of her people, who fought to protect their fragile world. But she also saw something else. Fragility nestled within him, a vulnerability that pulled at her instincts as a caretaker. The peace of the moment shattered abruptly when a high-pitched alarm echoed across the camp. "Jack, we have an emergency," a voice called frantically. Jack turned, adrenaline surging as he darted towards the source. Several members of the expedition were gathered near the medical tent, their faces a mixture of panic and urgency. "Jack, it's Marcus. He's infected," another voice cried, eyes wide with fear. They rushed him inside the tent, revealing Marcus, who lay sprawled on the ground, face clammy and pale, eyes unfocused. Jack knelt down beside him, but dread settled into the pit of his stomach. "What happened?" he asked, though the answer felt like a punch to the gut. "We were exploring that cave. There's something in there. We think it's a spore," one of the team members explained, visibly shaking. Before Jack could respond, pain shot through his own chest. Intuitive motion brought his hand up to clutch it, and sweat broke out on his forehead. He collapsed to the side, vision fading, as the world around him spun into darkness. Jack drifted in and out of consciousness, the sharp staccato of his heartbeat echoing in his ears like thunder. Moments slipped by, stretched into eternity, and he felt the pull of darkness threaten to envelop him. When his eyes finally fluttered open again, he found himself lying on a soft, bioluminescent bed, the gentle glow casting surreal shadows across the room. Confusion set in as he scanned his surroundings. The walls pulsed softly like a heartbeat, and the air thrummed with an energy that was both strange and oddly calming. This wasn't the makeshift medical tent. This was something different and otherworldly. His senses sharpened as a figure entered his line of sight. It was Lily, her luminous form radiating warmth and compassion as she approached him with a gentle smile. "You're awake," she said, her voice soothing like a cool breeze on a warm day. "What happened?" Jack croaked, his throat dry and raw. "You were infected by spores," she explained softly. "It causes severe reactions in humans. We barely had enough time to save you and Marcus." She gestured toward a corner where Marcus lay, still unconscious but stabilized. "You're lucky to be alive." Sitting up slowly, Jack felt a wave of dizziness wash over him. "Thank you for saving us." His voice was hoarse, but the gratitude was sincere. Lily nodded, a flicker of pride crossing her features. "It's my duty. I've dedicated my life to healing." She paused, her eyes searching his. "But you need more than just basic treatment. I have something that can help you heal faster." Jack's heart skipped a beat. What could be more powerful than the advanced technology he had assumed was already at their disposal? What is it? With a hint of hesitation, Lily responded, "My milk. It contains biological compounds that can accelerate healing and strengthen your immunity against alien pathogens." She studied his reaction, sensing his uncertainty. "It's a gift in my culture, a sign of deep trust and connection." Jack's mind raced as he processed her words. A small part of him felt a swell of pride at the thought of such a gift, but another part hesitated. Sharing something so personal could mean crossing boundaries he wasn't ready to confront. "Are you sure that's the best option?" he asked, still wary. "Yes," she replied, maintaining eye contact. "It will not only heal your body, but also strengthen our connection. It's a bond that transcends our differences." With a deep breath, Jack made his choice. He was already lost in a world so different from his own. Backing away from this emotional leap would only hold him captive in fear. "All right, I trust you," he said, his voice steadier now. Lily smiled, a brightness in her eyes that made his heart flutter. "Close your eyes," she instructed softly. "You need to relax. Let the healing happen." Doing as she said, Jack felt a rush of sensations wash over him. The warmth of her presence flooded into his consciousness as he heard her move about, rustling quietly before she returned to his side. A moment later, he felt something cool and silky against his lips. "I'm here," she whispered, her voice a balm on his weary mind. "Just drink." As he took in her offering, a warm wave surged through him, a sweetness unlike anything he had ever tasted. Jack could feel the healing properties of her milk coursing through his veins. The sensation was invigorating, almost euphoric. It pooled around the wounds in his body, fighting the remnants of the infection still lingering within him. A rush of emotions flooded his senses, fragments of happiness, sorrow, and attachment weaving into a tapestry of feelings. Joy at being alive, but also an undercurrent of struggle as memories from Earth filtered through his mind. The friends lost, the chaos, the desperation, all clashing with the solace he found in this moment. Jack's eyes fluttered open to gaze into Lily's gentle face. He saw compassion and understanding reflected in her alien features. In that moment, the world outside faded away. It was just the two of them, connected by something deeper than mere biology. He felt seen in a way he hadn't in a long time. As he finished the last of her offering, he couldn't help but reach out, covering her hand with his. "Thank you, Lily, for everything. You've changed something in me." Her gaze softened, and for a fleeting instant, the air shimmered with an unspoken bond, a tension charged with possibility. "You're not alone anymore, Jack." The warmth of her words wrapped around him like a protective shield, and in the depths of his mind, he realized that this journey was far from over. As Jack settled into his recovery, days blended into one another in a haze of healing and unfamiliar sensations. The pulsating glow of the alien walls became a comforting backdrop, and Lily, with her ethereal presence, became a constant source of care and curiosity. Jack found himself increasingly intrigued by her culture and the striking differences that set their worlds apart. One evening, after finishing his latest dose of Lily's healing milk, he gathered the courage to ask, "What's it like for you? I mean, in your society, in terms of relationships?" Lily tilted her head, contemplating his question. Her luminous skin flickered softly, as if summoning the rays of a hidden sun within. "In my culture, we view relationships as a profound bond," she began. "We believe that merging our essences through intimate connections fortifies both individuals. It's not just a physical act. It's the ultimate form of trust and empathy." Her eyes sparkled. "It is said that in healing one another, we elevate our spirits and bind our fates together." Jack felt a warmth spread through his chest at her words, the depth of them resonating with him on levels he hadn't entirely comprehended before. "How do you know when it's the right time to connect?" Lily smiled thoughtfully, her gaze penetrating. "It's a feeling, a sudden understanding, an instinct that transcends words. When hearts align, the universe tends to whisper its decision." She paused, a hint of mischief dancing in her eyes. "Perhaps you humans overthink things too much." Jack chuckled lightly, loving her playful spirit. "We do have a habit of complicating everything," he admitted. "But what you've said, makes sense. It's refreshing." "Then perhaps you should experience it," she suggested, a teasing lilt in her voice. "You may find clarity in the connection." His heart raced at the implication. Did she mean? Jack struggled to find his words. "You mean like us?" "Connections can take many forms," she said coyly, weaving closer to him. The air crackled with an energy he hadn't experienced before, a tension simmering in the space between them. "But I sense it's time for you to see more of my world, to understand the depth of this bond." Curiosity piqued. Jack nodded, heart pounding. "What do you have in mind?" Lily's eyes glimmered with excitement as she stood. "Come with me. I want to show you the mating ritual of my people. It's a celebration of life and unity, one that embodies everything we've discussed." Intrigued and exhilarated, Jack followed her out of the bioluminescent room. The landscape transformed as they moved deeper into the heart of the alien village. Soft light illuminated paths, paved with what looked like iridescent stones, flickering in hues he couldn't quite name. As they arrived at the epicenter of the village, an open space filled with colorful, energy-filled displays, Jack was enchanted. Other Elorians gathered, their melodious voices mingling in the air, harmonizing in a mesmerizing chant. Vibrant colors swirled around them, painting the night sky as the villagers began an intricate dance. Lily took Jack by the hand, pulling him into the mesmerizing rhythm of the celebration. The music reverberated through his body, and he felt inexplicably alive, caught in the intoxicating fusion of sights and sounds. "Look!" Lily exclaimed, pointing toward the center of the gathering. A beautiful arboreal structure towered, its branches filled with glowing orbs that danced like stars against the dark sky. Two Elorians stepped forward from the crowd, weaving stories through dance, every motion graceful, every gesture loaded with meaning. "This is how we express our bonds," Lily whispered, hardly able to contain her excitement. "See how they move together? It's a physical embodiment of union." As Jack watched, something deep within him stirred, an understanding blooming alongside the twirling lights. He became acutely aware of the space between him and Lily, the electric tension building as their hands intertwined. "I can see it," Jack murmured, mind entranced by the flowing movement before them. "It's more than just a dance, it's a language." "Yes, exactly," she beamed, her enthusiasm infectious. "It's our way of celebrating connection and the cycle of life." Then the festivities reached a crescendo, and Jack found Lily watching him intently. Her gaze bore into his soul, and he felt as if the entire universe had narrowed down to just the two of them. He couldn't help but wonder if this was the moment they would cross the line from camaraderie to something deeper, something he desperately craved. "Would you like to join me?" she asked, voice thick with invitation. Jack hesitated, then slowly nodded. Together, they stepped into the circle of dancers. Lily moved fluidly beside him, guiding him through the motions, her laughter a celestial melody. The more he danced, the more the lines of their connection blurred. He could feel her essence merging with his own, shifting electrifyingly as they spun together in perfect harmony. Caught in the heat of the moment, Jack grasped her waist, pulling her close as their bodies swayed. Her eyes sparkled with mischief and warmth. "You're quite the dancer, Jack," she teased, leaning closer. But his heart raced for more than just dance. "Lily," he breathed, his voice barely a whisper. "This feels incredible." "It is," she replied, her lips barely inches from his. The world around them faded, the music lingering only at the edges of their awareness. In that charged moment, Jack leaned in, his lips brushing softly against hers, a tentative exploration of new territory that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. Lily responded immediately, deepening the kiss as their connection ignited like fireworks. It wasn't just a physical act. It was a merging of minds and hearts, a celebration of the bond they had formed against all odds. As they pulled away, breathless, Jack felt an extraordinary sensation surging within him, a unity that danced beyond the physical realm, enveloping them like a protective shroud. "Jack," Lily whispered, her forehead resting against his, "we've crossed into something extraordinary." "Yes," he managed, eyes locked onto hers, their vivid colors a portal to an entirely new world, "and I wouldn't trade it for anything." The energy swirling around Jack and Lily amplified after their kiss, saturating the very air with a magnetic pulse. The vibrant environment pulsed in time with his heartbeat, and he felt suspended in a moment that seemed to stretch on forever. Their connection had transformed, deepening in a way that felt both ancient and new. As the evening dance continued around them, Lily's eyes sparkled with mischief and allure. "Come," she said, pulling his hand. "There's more I want to show you." Jack followed her eagerly as she led him further into the gathering. The music shifted to a more rhythmic chant, beckoning him closer to the heart of the rituals. The crowd parted to reveal a grand centerpiece, a towering tree-like structure that glittered with orbs of light, each representing a bond newly formed or celebrated. "This is the Tree of Unity," Lily explained, her voice filled with reverence. "It stands as a symbol of our people's connections, the lives shared, the love celebrated. As we participate in the ceremony, we each contribute to its light, strengthening our bonds with one another." Jack gazed at the tree, all washing over him. This ritual, the beauty of it, the significance, moved him deeply. "How does the ritual work?" he asked, turning back to Lily. "In a moment we will join the others," she said, excitement sparkling in her eyes. "The first part involves sharing our energies. Then, as the lights of the tree glow with our connections, we merge our essences." "Merge our essences?" he echoed, taken aback, though curiosity burned bright within him. "Yes," she assured, her voice low and inviting. "It's the most precious part. It symbolizes trust and unity, and in doing so, we elevate our connections, entering a new plane of understanding." His heart raced at her words. He felt the weight of what this meant, how intimate and profound. But looking into Lily's eyes, filled with nothing but sincerity and warmth, he knew he wanted nothing more than to experience this moment with her. "Okay," he nodded, determination settling in. "I'm ready." As the throbbing music drew them closer to the Tree of Unity, the crowd cheered, their rhythmic claps rising to an exhilarating crescendo. The dancers spiraled around the tree, and Lily pulled Jack into the center, where the essence of the night intertwined with theirs. "Now we focus on each other," Lily instructed. "Breathe together. Feel our rhythms align." Jack nodded, closing his eyes, feeling the warmth radiating from Lily as they stood together, their hands clasped. He felt as though they were drawing energy from each other, their hearts beating in perfect synchrony. One by one, the villagers around them fell silent, guided by the sacred ceremony. The atmosphere thickened with expectation, and Jack sensed the growing energy swirling not just between them, but radiating outwards. "Picture your essence," Lily whispered gently, her voice like a guiding star. "What makes you you? Share it with me, Jack." He focused inward, diving deep into the fabric of his being. He thought of Earth, the sights and sounds, the laughter of friends, and the weight of loss that had shaped him. Then he thought of his dream for a better future, the hope he felt in this alien world, and the beauty he discovered in Lily's presence. As he considered these fragments of himself, he released a deep breath. "I feel alive, and yet unsteady," he shared. "I've lost so much, but I want to build something new." Lily's head tilted slightly. Her eyes shimmered, reflecting understanding. "That longing, it's part of you. And I feel the same, Jack. My people have faced struggles, too. We thrive when united." They opened their eyes at the same moment, and a powerful light erupted from the Tree of Unity, enveloping them. Jack felt a rush of emotions surge, joy, sadness, yearning, all amalgamating into a singular energy that filled the air with shimmering light. The tree pulsated with colors, each radiating the narratives of those participating. Jack's heart swelled as he felt Lily's spirit entwine with his, an inextricable bond forming that surged with warmth and promise. Suddenly, without warning, A chorus rang out, a melodic chant that filled the night sky. The villagers began to dance once more, but this time their movements were different, more ethereal, more fluid as they celebrated the next cycle of unity. Jack felt Lily's presence shift, drawing him close. "Are you ready to elevate our connection?" she whispered, voice husky and intoxicating. "Yes," he breathed, and as he committed to the moment, warmth enveloped them again. Lily leaned in closer, their breaths mingling, the overwhelming power of the ritual surging around them. The light from the tree intensified and pulsed with the beat of their hearts. In an act that felt both instinctual and dreamlike, Jack cupped her face in his hands, their lips meeting for the second time. This kiss was unlike the first. The energy swirling around them exploded into a vivid tapestry of sensations. It was an electrifying embrace of two souls, drawn together by an unyielding force that felt cosmic in its magnitude. Jack's heart raced as he felt his essence intertwine with hers. It was as if their very beings were merging, forging a bond that transcended the material plane. Whispers of energy danced between them as unseen forces strengthened their unity. In that moment, he truly understood the significance of what they were sharing. Jack and Lily were not just experiencing a moment of passion. They were creating a new foundation, a world built between their hearts. As they pulled away from one another, breathless, Jack felt the entire gathering around them reverberate with joy. The villagers erupted into cheers, their voices rising to the heavens, a celebration of love, connection, and healing. Lily rested her forehead against his, eyes shimmering with delight. "Together, we've illuminated something new," she murmured, her breath warm against his skin. Jack smiled, admiration flooding through him. "And there's so much more to build." As the celebration swirled around them, Jack felt a sense of peace settle in his heart. Together, they had crossed into an uncharted realm, where love, understanding, and hope wove an intricate tapestry that would shape the future, both for them and the worlds yet to be discovered. The celebration of light and joy continued late into the night, but as the sounds began to fade, Jack found himself alone with Lily, the cool breeze wrapping around them like a cocoon. With beaming faces and intertwined fingers, they wandered away from the festivities, retreating to a more private area tucked beneath the luminescent trees. Jack turned to Lily, heart still fluttering from the ritual. "What now?" he asked, a mix of excitement and uncertainty glimmering in his eyes. Lily smiled, her expression both playful and serious. "Now that you've been welcomed into my world, we explore the next step of our bond, mating," she said, her voice low, imbued with a sensual promise. Jack felt a stirring in his core. "Mating?" he echoed, the word thick with implications. "Is that different here?" "In many ways, yes," Lily replied, stepping closer, eyes glinting with light. "It's not just an act of physical union. It's a merging of our souls, a celebration of our connection. When we mate, we elevate our bond to its fullest potential." A wave of heat washed over him, and Jack nodded. "I want that. I want to be with you, Lily." She smiled wider, a glimmer of joy and relief evident in her expression. "Remember our connection during the ritual? It's about deeper understanding, and in that, our souls will dance as one." With her words echoing in his mind, Jack felt his heart soar as he leaned in closer, capturing Lily's lips in a tender kiss. This kiss was laced with yearning, explorations that felt deeply instinctual as they reached for one another. As they pulled back, their breaths mingling in the crisp night air, Lily guided him to a secluded spot beneath the canopy of bioluminescent branches, their glow illuminating the space with a soft, ethereal light. "Here we will lay our essences bare," Lily whispered as she began to unfasten the intricate ties of her garments, revealing the radiant curves of her body. Jack felt his heart race, the flush of excitement coursing through him. In that moment, the barriers of culture fell away. Jack, mesmerized, followed suit, removing his own attire, vulnerability mixing with desire as they stood before one another, fully exposed and open. Lily approached him slowly, her fingers tracing the contours of his form. "Feel this connection," she urged. The vibrations of their hearts pulsed in rhythm, an ebb and flow that brought them closer together. He grasped her hands, intertwining their fingers, and pulled her onto the soft ground, their bodies drawing nearer. As they lay together, the air thickened with unspoken promises. In the safety of their bond, the world outside faded into oblivion. "This is our moment," Lily murmured, her gaze penetrating deep into Jack's soul. "This is where we create the light of our union." With that, their bodies entwined, a physical dance of enraptured souls. Jack felt Lily's warmth wash over him as they fit together, moving harmoniously with the pulsing glow around them. Every touch sent electric shivers through his body, every kiss igniting a fire deep within him. In that sacred space beneath the bioluminescent canopy, they melded into one, sharing whispers of vulnerability and desire that wrapped around them like the very air they breathed. They were explorers of each other, adventurers lost in the depths of this new world forged in trust and love. As their essences entwined, Jack's heart sang at the realization of what they had created, a bond transcending worlds, a promise of hope and healing that would carry them through whatever trials lay ahead. And in that moment, as they finally found solace in each other's embrace, Jack understood that this was only the beginning of their extraordinary journey together.